Hello, welcome to an overview of the Desmos scientific and graphing calculators for secondary students. We're going to talk about incorporating some activities into your instruction to familiarize your students with the embedded calculators that they can use on the EOG and EOC. Again, we're going to familiarize you with these. They're used on NC Test, EOG, EOC, and NC check-ins. These will be the only calculators your students will be allowed to have access to in the future, so we want to make sure that they know how to use them and they can be quite helpful to the students on the end of grade test. We'll take a look in a moment about a few ways that that can help. So some important links are going to be dropped below this video in our newsletter. We have a practice page for the students and teachers, and I'll show you that in a moment. The Desmos General Scientific Calculator. There are some features that this calculator has that the calculator for NC Test does not have. So we want to be sure that we're using the NC Test calculator. This document here, the calculator information, will explain the differences in the general and testing calculator. So we want to look here at the Desmos practice page. This is the link that you'll go to for pulling up the correct calculator. So when you're at the top of this page, that link will take you right to it. You want to choose assessment. We want to make sure that we have North Carolina chosen. That's NC Test. For grade 6 through 8, we want to make sure we have the scientific calculator. Grade 8 will be offered both the scientific and the graphing calculator. So when we click on these, we just click Start Practice, and it pulls up the calculator. So, of course, we know practice makes perfect. Before our students can get really good at using the calculator, we want to make sure that we practice a lot in the classroom. There are a lot of advantages to having the calculator, but we also don't want to overwhelm our students with a busy calculator with a lot of features. We want to make sure that we're providing them with the best possible instruction on using the calculator before they begin the EOG or EOC. So I'm going to demonstrate right now just some of the general features of the scientific calculator in Desmos, and this is the NC Test version. So when you're in this calculator, you want to make sure that up here in the left-hand corner, it says NC Test. This is the testing calculator that the students will see. So on here, we just have some basic keys that you would see on any other calculator. Students probably will not need the alphabet or these advanced functions for 8th grade. In Math 1, we want to just make sure it's toggled to main. Make sure your students have this toggled to degrees. This is your undo button. I'll show you that in a moment. And this is where we have some tools. If your students want a little bit bigger font, I'm going to leave mine in this for demonstration purposes. Or if they want that reverse contrast, you can do that here. There's also Braille mode offered as well. So I'm going to leave this in the little bit larger font. So we have our squared key. Students just enter a number, square, it squares it. Now, the answers show up over here. That's one thing that we want to point our students' attention to, because on the calculators that we have, the handhelds that we have in the classroom, that doesn't always happen. So we want to be sure that they see it, that it comes up over here, and that they can use this answer actually in another line. If they hit the A and S key, that answer will pop up. The answer from the previous line will pop up, and then you can do some math with it. And continue from there if you're doing some equation. We have our square root key, which is standard. The exponent key, the way you would use that was you would put in your base, click the exponent key, and then enter your exponent, and there is your answer. It will give you an answer to everything that's done, but only the enter key will open up a new line. If you want to clear anything, you can hit clear all. That clears everything out. Let's say I have 2 lines here. So I have 49 times 6, and then I have 2 to the 7th, and I just want to clear one line. I just go hit the back key like that, but you can clear all if you'd like. Another key function, or something I think you should point out to students, the pi key. This pi key goes to this many places after pi. NC Test is designed to give the students an accurate answer, or provide them with an accurate answer choice if they use this version of pi, or if they use the 3.14. So this could be a very helpful key for students in doing those functions with pi. Another one I think students might need to know is division is going to show up as a fraction. So make sure that they're not kind of confused or a little bit confused when they see division pop up, not like it does on our standard handheld calculators. We also want to show them that multiplication is going to show up as a dot. And then over here is everybody's favorite. We have the fractions. So if students want to enter a fraction, they can do that. Oh, I meant to backspace, so I'm just going to backspace right there. Hit enter, put it on the bottom. Oh, I didn't do that right. I can click right here actually and put the 8 right here. And so if you look over here, I've got 5/8 as a decimal, which is 0.625 or 625 thousandths. If I want to change it to a fraction, I can convert it right back. Same thing with anything else. Like if I were to type this in as a decimal and students needed that as a fraction, I could hit the fraction, it would show it to me as a fraction. So those are some keys that can really help our students, especially with the ones that struggle with fraction calculations. So if I wanted to put in a mixed number, it would look like this. I could just put in that whole number, hit that A, B key, put in my first number, click this one, and put in my next number. And then again, if I want to see it as an improper fraction, it'll give it to me there. Then if I need to make this a decimal, what I would then do is hit answer, and then there it is as a decimal. So we want to make sure our students know all of those functions and know how to comfortably use them. So that is a demonstration of the key features of the scientific calculator. I am now going to move into key features of the graphing calculator. So now I'm going to review some of the features of the graphing calculator. What I have done is I went ahead and went to the practice page. So I selected NC Test at the top and chose the graphing calculator for grade 8 Math 1 and higher math. So it looks like this. Be sure that NC Test shows up in the corner before you introduce this to students. So this is what students will see when they immediately log on to the Desmos graphing calculator. We got our tools over here. Again, can do that reverse contrast, braille mode, and I can also make it a little bit larger. You can actually zoom in and out using your computer if you'd like while you're on this calculator. However you want your students to use it. It's fine, whatever they're comfortable with. I would encourage showing them that feature because I think it's a very good one for some of them. And you can extend your y-axis and x-axis as far as you would like, but you can also do that by scrolling in and out. We also want to make sure degrees is highlighted here. We want to make sure that our students know that's the correct one. Okay, so I'm going to just begin by showing you how to graph a line in the calculator. So if I want to grab my keyboard, I can pull up down here. It's another thing. The keyboard's not going to be readily visible to the students, so make sure they know that it will be right there. So let's say I want to graph y equals 1. I'm going to make this a fraction. So again, remember, I can use the division key for fraction here. 1/2, oops, click x plus, let's make y-intercept of 4. Okay, so students could scroll in and out and see what the line would look like if I graphed y equals 1/2 x plus 4. I believe this key takes it right back to, this key takes it right back to where I had it. So I had it graphing by 2's. So if I want to graph another line, let's say I want to graph a line that is in standard form so that I can compare the two. That's one of the great advantages. It will graph the line in standard form so the students don't have to convert it to the slope-intercept form. So if I want to do 4x plus 7y equals 28, there's my line. Okay, and they can scroll in and out and see, oh yeah, okay, these two lines have the same y-intercept. So kind of cool, right? All right, so again, if you want to delete any lines, you just hit the X. And there's a button for going back as well and redoing anything you need to or undoing anything that you need to. You can also hit settings and delete everything. Let's say I want to graph an inequality. So y is less than 4x plus 2. It will graph that inequality for me. And it will show you, again, you can extend in and out, and it will show you the solutions to that inequality on the graph. Hit home, and it takes me right back to where I was before. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this one out. Then this time, I'm going to show you an EOG problem where I really think this could benefit your students. This is a problem from the released EOG. So we're looking at this linear function graph here, and it's asking me which one has the same slope as the linear function graph below. So your students can go through these and enter them and see which one may, and then compare slopes. There are also questions about which one would have the same y-intercept, etc. And this is a calculator active problem. So let's graph y equals 4x plus 3. Y equals 4x plus 3. There's my graph. So students can compare the slope. Immediately, you can kind of look back at the EOG question and see this has a negative slope and this one has a positive slope. So they're probably not the same. But if your students want to compare a couple lines, you could try another one. Let's do y equals 2 minus 1/4 x, because those would have negative slope. They could graph all four if they want. Y equals 2 minus, remember that fraction key? Click here, put your X, and there you go. So this is looking like a similar slope right here. Students can go in and see, oh, this is 0, 2. This line is also, this line is crossing at 3, but let's compare slopes. So up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, left 4. So slope's negative 1/4. So if we go up 1, here we would also go left 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is a negative slope, so students would be able to see that and get the correct answer for that question. So those are just a few of the key features of the graphing calculator. Again, have your students practice, get them comfortable. Do a practice problem every day when you're in this unit with that, because it is a great help to have a graphing calculator on the EOG. So the bottom line for today's video is practice, practice, practice. Expose your students to the calculator features and use them regularly in your instruction. And be sure that you're using the NC test version of the calculator. We may go more in depth with these as the year progresses. Right here is all of our information. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. I hope to see you soon in some of our PLCs.